Hello, guys. Welcome back to this new live streaming. Yes, I was just checking the volume for a second here on our Rise Your Rise. Sorry for the delay, but in this period, I am pre-recording lots of episodes that you're going to watch throughout all this time. Try to understand me. I already finished the second season of To Your Eternity. I have already finished, almost finished, the third season of Mob Psycho 100. So I am pre-recording some videos, and that's why I couldn't go ahead with these live streaming analysis. But here I am. Last time we were getting in touch with the analysis regarding Hanji's character and her death. Yes. Plus, we were getting in touch even with the Reiner's speech to Connie, John, and all the others regarding what Eren was about to do. So while I will watch the episode, I will tell you my thoughts. I definitely prefer this way, so you can also hear what I'm checking, and at the same time, we can talk about it together. So feel free to write me some comments without spoilers regarding the ending, because the ending is coming this autumn, and at the same time we can see different points of view if you don't agree with what I'm saying. So feel free to write me in the chat box what you thought about the last episode of Shingeki no Kyojin, the special episode of 1 hour. And let's go ahead. Are you ready? Let's join me. It's time to start. So let me open here. Yes. Hello, Claire. And in fact, because Armin is saying Eren, by having now the power of the Shisono Kyojin and by becoming this Shubi no Kyojin, has the control on all the Titans, but also all the Eldians. He is correct. Exactly. And then when he is saying our ability to use our Titan powers are unchanged, referring to what Reiner is saying right now, because Reiner is saying, I have the idea that Eren is going to do something like this because he wants us to kill him. I mean, he wants that we stop him. So that's why we can go ahead with our plans. Going against him. And actually, what Armin is saying is correct, because he's not stopping Armin, who is the colossal titan. Who he is not stopping Reiner, who is the armored titan. He's not stopping Pika, who is the cart titan. Look, he's not even stopping Zeke, who is the beast titan. So at this point, yeah, I think that he's not stopping Falco, who is the new Joe titan. So at the end of the day, look, I was thinking in this period of time, while I was rewatching the episode, while I was even watching what my mother sometimes is saying in her commentary while I'm editing her videos, that when Eren was saying at that time to Falco, you will have a long life. At this point, is he going to have a long life because he's going to survive after everything that Eren is doing? I'm thinking something like this because at this point, he was not understanding the fact that Falco is going to live a long life. I mean, extended life. As if he said, look, you're going to die when you will be 80, for example, right? But I think that when he was saying you will have a longer life, is because he is going to survive. I mean, after the Shubino Kyojin, Falco at this point is going to survive. And that's why he is going to have a longer life, because anyway, by surviving, ecco, yeah, there is one thing that I still wanted to understand. And the thing is, when Eren will die, I already said this multiple times, but I want to repeat this just a second so I can reconnect myself with what I was telling you already. After the Shubi no Kyojin will be over, because Eren will be killed, and this is something certain at this point. What's going to happen to the other Titans owners? I mean, are they going to stay Titans still or not? They are going to lose this Titan power. But if they lose this Titan power, are they going to go ahead with their lives as always? I mean, usually speaking, or are they going to die anyway after their 13 year spent on Earth? We need to know this. I mean, I hope that Isayama is going to explain us what's going to happen to Reiner, Armin, Pick, Annie. Yes, I forgot about Annie too, sorry. Falco, all these people who were Titan owners. What's going to happen after that? But anyway, going back with what I was telling you, yeah, Armin is right. He is leaving them the possibility to go ahead with the power. So, in this case, it means that what Reiner is saying is not wrong. They are going to stop Eren. At least she, Mikasa, is going to stop Eren. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Oh, good job, Armin. I also agree with you, especially when he's saying, yeah, Eren is letting us act freely as if to test how we respond to what he's doing. I totally agree with him. The reason why I say this is because even when Eren was confronting Mikasa and Armin, I remember that he was talking about freedom, and he was saying that he doesn't like slaves. He doesn't like people who are acting based on other people's behavior, but he likes people who are free to do whatever they want. That's even what he really is. I mean, we know that even if what he's doing he's wrong, but the purpose of what he's doing is more important than what's wrong or what's good is. So yeah, I think that he's just waiting to see how they will act when he is going to tell him even later. He's going to tell them even later. In fact, today we are going to watch this. The moment in which he is saying, look, you are free. And even in this case, it's really hard to tell them something like this. You are free to kill me, or you are free to go against me, because I will not be upset, but I will be happy to see that you're free to do whatever you want, no matter if I'm in front of you or not. Um, it depends. I mean, it depends on how the characters are facing Eren, because of course we know that they are all friends, and I think that even Reiner considers him as a friend. There's no doubt about it. Maybe Peak is not consider him nothing, almost nothing, because she has never spent time on Paradise as much as Reiner. But at the same time, I think that most of them are great friends of Eren, and in this case, the fact that he's saying you are free to decide what to do, it reminds me the concept of the free will that I told you already many times. That means we human beings have a huge power, superpower, that means to choose what we really want to do based on the events that are approaching us. That's called the free will. But when they are calling it the free will, that reminds me, even religiously speaking, the free will that God is giving us to choose what we want to do. That's why God usually is not interfering with what we choose to do, because he, God, or she, God, wants to see how we act and what we decide to do based on our free will. Let's say if we compare what I told you now with what Eren wants them to do, it's more or less the same thing. I mean, it's like as if Eren, just in this case, because in my opinion, he is never a god. But in this case, he is acting like one, because he is leaving these friends the chance to choose what to do. It doesn't matter if he agrees with that or not. He wants them to let them free to choose something. And I think that if we are not talking about the concept of God, this is anyway a matter of love. Because if you think about it, if a person is forcing you to do something or to say something, it means that she or he is now loving you completely, because he doesn't give you the chance to be free to do something. And if you're free to do something, then it means that a person in front of you is loving you because she's giving you the chance to be yourself. So, what Eden wants to do now is to let them be themselves. It doesn't matter if they love him or not. Maybe even by doing what they are doing, they are helping Eren instead, because we know that Eren right now is now free. He has to keep going ahead until the end of his existence and even after that. But in the meantime, he's not free because he feels in the cage of this world. So he needs to go after life, he needs to go on the other side and be released, be free forever. So, what they are doing now, what they decided to do now, is like a favor for Eren. It's not something bad, it's actually something good. Even if, of course, killing your best friend is not something great because it's something abominous. But at the same time, if you understand Eren's point of view, this is just a favor. This is just something great. And what I told you before, the only people who can kill him, or the only people from which he can um, agree that he is going to die, these are his friends. I mean, he will be killed by his friends and he can accept that. If there were others who would have killed him, I don't think that he would agree to the same. By doing this, he himself is going to be, I mean, he's going to die peacefully first. So I think that everything that is done here is sometimes you can't understand it, some other times it's quite understandable. It depends on how you see things. If you see that a friend is in danger, you wanted to help him, you wanted to release him, you want him to free himself from the cage, his feeling of pain, right? That's exactly what they are trying to do with it, and there is not a difference in these. The problem is that they have to kill him, and in order to kill him, the result is that probably something will be really painful, especially. No, I don't want to say especially from Mikasa's side, because I think that even Eren will feel lots of pain too. So let's go ahead. Yes, Reiner is saying it has to be agonizing for him too. Yeah, I think that in this final season, I realized that the character, let's say, that is understanding Eren the most is Reiner. And I really like the fact that these two characters are mentally getting in touch with each other, that they really understand each other, because a Reiner could have understood more than anybody else the pressure and even the feeling that a Titan is feeling when he has to kill others, and he doesn't want that. But look, even Armin understood that when he was asking himself to Bertold, is that what you have always seen, Bertold? As if it's a way to acknowledge even the pain that Bertolt was feeling as a result of what he was doing. Do you remember when even in season 3, part 2, um, he was about to transform, and at that time he was crying. Yeah, at that time he was crying because even Bertolt at that time was feeling so bad by transforming, and nobody on the paradise side at that time could understand him in that moment, because he couldn't explain the reality from his perspective. So I think that Armin, once he acquired the colossal titan, he was understanding more and more how Bertold felt. But do you remember even in season two when he was protected by Reiner while they were escaping, and you could see Bertold crying while Mikasa was looking at him, and Bertold was specifically saying that nobody could understand him in that moment. Yeah, definitely. Reiner was feeling the same every time he was having these dualism, and now, even now, especially thanks to the final season, you understand why Reiner sometimes was having um, these moments in which he was moving from one personality to the other one, because he had to hide even the fact that he was coming from the other side of the ocean. So even a writer at that time had to hide feelings and play or act as if he was taking care of them, that he was caring of them, etc., etc. So even Eren is doing the same on the contrary. I mean, Eren, who's acting as if he doesn't care anymore, as if he has to go ahead with his project and whatever. No, at the end of the day, Eren, deep inside his heart, knows more than anybody else how he's feeling. So that's why I'm saying that Armin has to talk to him, because now that Armin, together with Reiner, of course, but specifically Armin, because Armin is his best friend. So now that Armin understood how Bertold felt at that time, by understanding the pain and the sorrow that he was feeling while he was destroying things, now Armin wants to talk to Eren, because now more than ever he is understanding the fact that he is, I mean, superficially speaking, he is acting in a certain way, but deep inside he is feeling something else. So I really can't wait for the dialogue that they are going to have in the last part, because it will be really essential. I think that now more than ever, Armin is going to reach Eren deeply. So let's stay tuned and keep on watching. But when Reiner here is saying it has to be agonizing for him too, is that because of what I told you so far? Because Reiner is another one that can understand Eren more than anybody else, especially for the fact that he had a mission too, he had a dream too. He wanted to let other people be proud of him. He didn't want to disappoint his dear people. So many reasons why Reiner can understand Eren. And that's why I appreciate when at that time my mother was telling you, I hope that one day Reiner can help Eren. Yeah, I think that he is doing it right now. He is helping Eren somehow, because he is the one who can reach him, or who can guide Armin to the right path to reach Eren and talk to him. So I'm so happy even now for the fact that Reiner joined them. I think that the creator of this story, I mean Isayama Sensei, made something really, really great by doing what he did, because he gave the chance to all these characters to find things in common and understand that even if they are fighting one against the other one, at the end of the day, they are fighting for the same things created on different perspectives. So, anyway, at any time, no matter what, they have some things in common. And this is so beautiful because thanks to that episode when they were around the fire, that was the most amazing way to rejoin all together, or to understand, look, I did this for this reason, oh look, I did this for the same reason. So they could talk, they could communicate. And even if Eren is not listening to that meeting that they had, by having the power to control all the aliens or all the titans, he left them free to keep going ahead and meet and talk and stay together I really think that he knows because he is also the Shisoro Kyojin. So he knew what was going on, but he didn't interrupt that meeting around the fire. He didn't interrupt the most important moments in which they could find things in common. So I think that that was really helpful. Yeah. Exactly. Committing a mass murder, that's not a burden you can just bear. Yes, that's true. Do you remember when Armin saw the destruction that he caused because of his first transformation that we could see as a Titan in the final season, part one? That's the same thing. Armin was not happy at all. It was a burden to him to carry on the shoulders, to let him turn into a murderer. And if we would have thought about this, about Armin in first season, we would have never believed it. I mean, if somebody was coming from the future and tell us that Armin would have turned into a murderer, nobody would have agreed with this. They would have said, no, it's impossible. Armin a murderer? We would have never believed that, right? But now the story goes on, and we understand that indirectly speaking, Armin became a murderer for many different reasons. We saw that even in the final season, part two, but except for the destruction that happened in part one. But actually, even in part two, when he is killing his ex comrades who turned into Jaegerists, yeah, it's a burden that you will always carry on your shoulder. And the same burden was carried even by Connie, who is not a Titan, was carried by John, who is not a Titan. But anyway, they have all these things in common. So that's why, even what we saw in the previous analysis, we could see that Reiner was understood by Connie and John this time. Instead of being judged, he was understood. So now what they are trying to do is to understand each other, I mean one another, but at the same time it's time to understand Eren, because instead of judging him and pointing him a finger, it's better to calm down, reflect, and understand him. Exactly. Reiner is right one more time. If it was me, I would have been desperate to leave the founder's power with someone else. Yes, that's why Eren didn't want to give his titans to others. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, in that sunset scene that we see, in which Eren is saying, "No, I will not leave you my titans, nor to you, nor to you, nor to anybody else, because you have to go on living, and because I care about you, because you are the most important people for me." So even in this case, you could see that at that time when there was that statement, we thought that, oh, okay, Eren cares about them and he doesn't want to let them carry this burden of the titans. That was correct, because if we think about it now, if someone of these people is going to inherit the titans of Eren, they are going to feel all of the pain that he also is feeling, and all these burdens to carry on their shoulders, that it's too heavy. Okay. So I think that everything that he wanted to do, I mean, everything that Eren wanted to do is to incorporate all these mixed feelings and even all these burdens, one after the other one, and to move away from them, to create a definite separation so they could feel as if they were spared. I mean, as if they were saved by all these abominous feelings or all these abominous conditions. But Eren needs also to know that now his friends are understanding him even more than before, because he has the chance to get in touch now more than ever with Armin, that it's what I wait the most, who also committed crimes, who also created a sort of a mass destruction, like in Liberio. So he is understanding how Eren feels. One more time. Hmm. Yes. Reiner is looking at Mikasa, and he's saying if Eren realized that that was not possible, that means to prevent these dear people that I have to feel the pain that I'm creating, it's better if I am Eren that someone is going to end me. That means Mikasa, because Reiner is looking at Mikasa. So that's another clear example that the one who's going to kill Eren will be her. And it will be painful and we will cry hard, but I think that that's the most reasonable way to proceed, in my opinion. Also, because of the contrast that I told you regarding cruel world and beautiful world. And here we go. See, but in this case, it was Eren who was connecting with them because, and not because, but by doing this, you understand that Eren was listening to what Reiner was saying at that time. That's something amazing, and that's why later he asked them to come to that dimension of Ymir so he can explain it clearly. He can push them away one more time to give them the chance to decide what to do about him one more time. Absolutely, yes. Oh, and here there is the desperation of Armin, because even if he knows that Eren will never change, he's trying his best to change his mind till the end, until everything is available. I mean, until the dialogue is possible, he wants to go ahead with the dialogue plan, to go ahead and try to change his mind. But it's a rhetorical way to approach him because he knows from the beginning that this is not going to happen. That Eren, it doesn't matter how much you repeat this to him, to do this, to do that, etc., etc. He will never change his mind. Unfortunately, we should say, or fortunately at this point, for everything that I told you so far. See, Armin is still struggling to let Eren understand that now the island is fine, and that once the rumbling started, the island is fine now. So he still has the chance to change his mind if he wants to spend his last years together with them. That it's more or less what I really believe that he wants to do. But his will or his instinct as a being can't be betrayed by what he really wants to do. I mean, Eren says that he was always like that since he was born. And we also know that he doesn't like people who change their minds. He likes people who keep going ahead with what they decided to do. In this case, if Eren decides to do what Armin wants, it's a way to betray himself. I mean, it's a way for Eren to betray himself, and that's something that he can't stand, something that he really doesn't want to do. So that's why I'm saying I feel Armin, I feel all of the desperation, I feel that he's trying everything on his hands, all the possibilities that he has to try to talk to Eren and to try to explain to Eren that if he is gone, they are not happy, that he would like to, that he should stay with them and he should spend time with them because that's what makes them really, really happy instead. But you also know, for all the things that I told you, that Eren can't do something like this, because if he goes back to what he was before, he's betraying himself. And at the same time, he doesn't want the happiness of his dearest people by pushing himself away from them, because he also knows that that is a cause of pain, and he doesn't want to be this for them. He wants to be remembered as the one who saved them somehow, who saved them from himself. See, he is also ready to take all the guilty feelings that he also feels somehow, to try to do his best to have Eren back. I mean, Armin is the typical person that is also ready to admit something that he has never done just to have him back. That's a sort of real love, let's say, because the most important thing for him is to have him back. But even in this case, even if he's saying this out loud, he knows that this is not going to happen. So I feel so sad for Armin right now, because he was always saved by Eren, and now he wants to save Eren because he believes that now it's his turn to do something like this. And I find it really admirable. I really like the way in which Armin is trying to approach Eren and tell him, look, you have to come back to us. You belong to us. You don't belong to extermination. You don't belong to everything that you have turned so far. You belong to us. You belong to what you were before, together with us. So please come back. But I told you, he already knows that he is not coming back. So even if he knows that, he is trying it no matter what. These resilience, these way to be stubborn and try multiple times makes Armin so great, such a great friend. And he is not the only one, because all of them, they want Eren back. So when they are screaming, "Ah, look, we are sorry. It's our fault that we leaded you here," especially Armin. Yes, I mean, he is recognizing that he was the one who showed him that book, and that book was the starting point of everything, the beginning of the story for Eren's. I mean, in Eren's point of view, if Armin didn't show him that book, we would have never reached this way. So Armin feels guilty because of this, because he knows that he was the one who created in Eren's mind the dream that later the same dream let him feel disappointed. But see, even John is saying you don't have to keep committing genocide for our sake. Actually, is doing this for your sake. It's a paradox, okay? But he keeps doing it for your own sake, because the more you detach yourself from him, the more you can be rescued, the more you can be alive, and you can go ahead with your lives. So what he is doing is just to prevent themselves from being attached to the cruel world. And the cruel world represented by Eren is really a cruel world. Yes, yes. Connie now is admitting to himself that when he said, did you notice what Eren was doing when Sasha died?" He was laughing. I think that by saying this sentence, Connie confirmed that he understood how much Eren was in pain with that hysterical laughter. that he was making when Sasha died. That's why, even for Connie, it was a way now to admit that what he was saying was not right. And he has the chance to say the last words. Yes, I think all of them, more or less, they have the chance now to say their last thoughts. And the good thing is that Eren wanted these parentheses. I mean, Eren wanted to hear what they had to say. And that's why he is transporting them to this other dimension, because he needs to understand that they still love him. Because if they still love him, then there's a good chance for him to go ahead with what he's doing, because he is having the confirmation that even if he is so evil right now, and even if he committed all of those mistakes, they love him anyway. So the love for him is not disappearing. And this is a huge confirmation of how this love is immense, that goes beyond evil things, beyond any obstacle. This is amazing. I mean, the way in which Eren always wants confirmations about how they react makes you understand how fragile Eren is, how sensitive he still is, and how hard for him it is to not stay together with them, because otherwise he didn't need any sort of confirmation from them. But now he is listening, and he's always listening to them. But now he wants to be, now he also wants to give them a confirmation of his beliefs. But before reaching them, he wants to hear what they have to say to him. And the fact that now they are saying, look, Aaron, everything will be fine. Please come back to us. We are going to solve this problem together. You don't have to feel worried about it. We are going to solve this together, so you will not feel lonely. Everything will be all right, etc., etc. For him is something that can melt his heart. He will never show that to you or to me, but that's how I think Eren feels right now after these huge confirmation he received now. Wow. And this silence after everyone is talking, priceless, because he is not intervening. I mean, Eren is not intervening saying, no, you're wrong, etc., etc. He stays silent. And this is another great confirmation. Eh, no, Mikasa is making a mistake here when she's saying, I wanted to shoulder your sins with you. No, Mikasa, this is wrong. This is something that he doesn't want to hear, because you should be the one who's going to survive instead. That after all the sins he made, there is someone who's going to triumph. And that triumph lady or triumph woman is you, who are representing the beauty of the world. So you can't stand next to him. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, she needs to stay on the opposite side and not by his side. And then you will understand what I mean. Yes, so when she's saying we are guilty for the same sins altogether, yes, but I think that the heaviness of his sin, the amount of sins that he committed, can't be compared to theirs. And at the same time, as I told you before, she has to stay in front of him, not next to him, because next to him, he has another presence. And this is the way for Levi to say, we care about you. Do it now, and I let you off with just a swift kick in the ass. this is how Levi wants to show how much he cares about a person. Levi has never used the soft words, and but this is his way to say, "Please come back to us." Do you remember Levi at the beginning when he was uh, hitting Eren, punching Eren, etc., etc., and now he's begging Eren to come back? I think that he is doing something like this also because he still wants to believe. I mean, Levi wants still to believe that everything that they have done so far was not meaningless, was not in vain. But at the end of the day, it seems so. From their perspective, it seems that everything they have done, it's pointless, but not from Eren's point of view. Because at the end of the day, I feel that what Eren wants to do is to exterminate the cruel world. So everything that he is doing is something positive because he is letting his friends understand that this cruel world has to be erased. And the way you can erase something evil is to give, on the contrary, something good. And this something good is his friends. I mean, his friends are all personifying the beautiful world. Why the beautiful world is because no matter the crimes they made, they still feel sorry for them. They still regret them. They still think that that was a bad decision, something really bad to do. And they are not proud of it. So they are not part of the cruel world. Even Eren is not proud of what he did, but at the same time, he understands that his will is more important than those deaths. So it's a sort of way in which you don't regret what you did. I open a parenthesis right now. When Armin is after the destruction of Liberio, do you remember that Armin is surrounded by all that red tone of color? That means a huge massacre. But do you remember Armin? He was noticing in that mass destruction a boy who was lifting his hand like this or something. Am I wrong? Let me go and check it out once again. Oh, what episode was that? I think episode 7. Just a second. I have to try to find that scene. Da-da-da, Attack on Titan. Wait. On Titan. Part 1. Final season part 1. Oh, come on. Episode 7. Here we go. Yes, so here is when Armin is transforming. But wait, just a second. Okay, okay. Yes, 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 yes. There is a hand like this, but I think that there is even, yes, there is a baby boy struggling to survive. Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. Yeah. In that moment, Armin was looking at this boy. And that's why I think that now more than ever, Armin can understand Eren, definitely, because while Eren was desperate, asking sorry to Ramsey, Armin is now understanding him because he had the same vision in front of his eyes. This boy that is struggling to survive, but he's barely breathing, and Armin looking at him as if, oh, look, I destroy your life. So Armin is the one who has to confront Eren more than anybody else. And there is silence, even if Levi says, don't you have something to tell us? Silence. Ah, but did you notice Reiner and Pick didn't say anything because they didn't felt in the position to ask Eren anything. But even in this case, Armin was the one who was understanding where he was. So that's why I'm saying Eren wants to talk to Armin. Eren is giving him all the hints to reach him. Otherwise, all the others would have felt the same, especially Reiner and Pika, because they are titans. But the only one who could sense him is Armin. Like at the beginning of this episode, when after Giuda, this is freedom, right? Armin was there, standing in front of him, standing in front of the young Eren while he is an adult already. And this is wrong, Eren. I mean, when he says, nor will I leave a Paradise Island's future to chance. No, Eren, because even if you save a paradise, the corruption inside of a paradise that might happen later, you're not saving the island. You're not. Okay, and that's how he is. He can't betray himself. But when now they are pointing and they see Eren, they see the young Eren. And I think this is really meaningful because of what I told you already many episodes before, Eren stopped that day. I mean, it's like as if that day, time stopped forever for him. When they were attacked the first time, from that moment, Eren could have not been the same as before. It's like as if there was something that was cutting his existence as it was going ahead as always for all the others. So the young Eren is the young boy who believed in the dream and was disappointed. The boy who saw his house and his mother dying and his house crashed. The boy who could see that there was something else beyond the walls. The enemy that was targeted as the enemy, the young Eren who made himself the promise to exterminate all of them. I mean, all the Titans. It means if he has to exterminate all the Titans, this means that he has to exterminate even himself, because he also is a Titan. So by the time that Eren became a Titan, he is becoming part of the things that he wants to exterminate. So, how can I exterminate myself? The most efficient way to exterminate myself is that my dearest most lovable person in my heart will kill me. Because if this is going to happen, I will keep my promise. Eren is the type of a person who is always moving forward to not break that promise. And that promise that day, guys, was the ultimate promise. So he can't stand that things will go in a different way. When we see the boy Eren here is so fundamental to understand that everything that he has done later was just to accomplish what the boy Eren wanted. There was nothing more important than that promise, or than anything that happened that day one, that episode one. So while Armin and all the others are being adult, I mean, in their adult version in front of him, who is the young version, they went on. That after all the dramas that they felt, they went on. especially Mikasa, who lost her parents, felt lonely. Okay, she was adopted by the Jaegers, but even she lost her parents. But the difference in Mikasa is that Mikasa found something else, found a way to restart. For Eren, there is not a way to restart. After that moment, everything ended. So, as you can see, Mikasa and Eren, or even Levi, who lost his mom, but they all have a different approach when to a sad event like this. I could say that Mikasa and Eren, they have this thing in common, but the way in which they reacted to this loss is different. In the case of Mikasa, her parents were killed by human beings. In the case of Eren, by titans. But Mikasa, at the end, once she lost her parents, she didn't say, I want to exterminate all humanity. No, because in humanity, that means Eren, she found a new way to restart that made her understand at that time already that there are bad people, good people, so we shouldn't exterminate all of them. In the case of Eren, it's different because he was attacked by a titan, he became a titan, and he wants to exterminate all the titans, not because they come from human beings, so let's kill everyone. Now, he wants to exterminate the titans because they are not something that has to exist. Because this way to transform human beings in titans was also a painful way to um, joke or to laugh on these poor people who were transformed into titans, the way in which other human beings were cursing other human beings to become titans and whatever. So this cycle of pain regarding the titans who are feeling pain because they are transformed into titans and they have even to carry the burdens of all the previous owners. But at the same time, titans who are going to exterminate human beings, this thing has to end. But it means that he also has to end because he is a titan too. And he can't go back to what he was before, thinking, oh, I don't have care because now I go back to my friends. No, if he goes back to his friends, even if it's something really painful and something that he really wants to do, because if you ask Eren, would you like to go to Mikasa right now and hug her? I think that he would have said yes. But if he does that, his promise is broken. And he has to maintain that promise, even for the sake of Mikasa, Armin, and all the others. And that's why when Kruger was saying if you want to save Mikasa, Armin, and all the others, you have to go ahead with your mission. Yes, because from Eren's point of view, going ahead like this is a way to save Mikasa, Armin, and all the others, so that the Paradise Island will never be attacked one day by titans, by other human beings who believe they are demons. They will be free, in his opinion. In my opinion, not really, but this is just my opinion. And then they start running, okay? But they don't even, okay, later they figure this out. I mean, the fact that Eren is a boy, okay? And he is not the adult of himself, huh? But when they are running, see, they are too desperate to reach him. They are not even realizing who's there. I mean, what kind of Eren is there? See, Jan is saying, oh, well, that's the young Eren. And Armin says, anyway, that's Eren. Yes, this is why I'm saying that Armin is the best person that Eren can confront in autumn. Because, in autumn, when the episode will come out, because Armin doesn't forget that even if Eren has this appearance now, anyway, that's Eren. That means that there is a side of his personality that is still there, that is what they know. Armin, who's really trusting this, is admirable, is the perfect friend that everyone wants to have. A person who is never um, betrayed by appearance. I mean, a person that is always trusting that there is still something of you over there that you don't want to show, but it's there because he knows him very well. He has always been the one who saved him, so he knows him even more than Mikasa, I guess. Mikasa that is running and she's in pain. I mean, you can feel the tension, the goosebumps, the chills, all the words that she would like to tell him, and then you see Eren, young boy, with these warm tones of colors running and turning back to her. I hate you, Mappa Studio, because when you do scenes like that, it makes me want to cry. But anyway, she still hopes that Eren is going to turn his back and smile at her. And at the same time, when there is this sort of scene in which you see Eren running and then he's turning, and there are all these warm tones of colors, it makes you feel as if Eren is more alive than what he is now. Because now there is this a huge contrast of colors, the warm tones of this moment and the other dimension where everything is not so warm. They are used cold tones of colors, as if he is no more alive as before, as if he's not having the same feelings as before. But Mikasa, by seeing that scene and by thinking maybe something like this, that means we lost Eren, we can't get it back as before, she's wrong because he is what he was as before, but he doesn't want to rejoin you because of all the things that I told you so far. So the fact that we are judging Eren because he became the villain, the antagonist, it's not true. I mean, Eren can be seen as a villain because he's exterminating lots of people. Okay, fine. But Eren didn't lose what he was. Not at all. No. I remember, I mean, I think that Mikasa wants to see him smiling like the time she was spending at that time when they were young. That was the most memorable moments for Mikasa. I mean, those memories when she was waiting that the Jaeger's doctor was coming to meet her and her mama who was pregnant, etc., etc. Okay, all those memories were the best for Mikasa. So she is remembering the face of the Eren she started loving. You think you can't rely on us? No, John, it's totally the opposite. He knows that he can rely on you, so that's why he's behaving like that. And Armin is asking the perfect question. Why did you leave us able to use our Titan powers? Because you have to kill him. See, Armin says here in this dimension, dear Eren, we can go ahead talking as much as we want. So even Armin knows that there is a dilatation of time over there. Of course, Armin is smart, but by knowing this, does that mean that even in autumn, we are going to see the last episode. They are going to meet in this dimension so they can talk as long as they want and they can say the last thing. So I really hope that so he can be honest to him. And at that time, there will not be a matter of time because they can stay there and talk as if they can talk for years, even if it's just 1 minute. Oh, if you can make an endless episode, I'm just happy for that, but it will never happen. Let's go ahead. We have always been together. Please don't go any further away. In order to obtain a freedom, I will take a freedom from the world. But that there's the thing is, he said it even in part two. If you take my freedom away, I'm going to come and catch you and get yours instead. That's how Eren seems to be. But did I mean when he approached, he says, okay, this is something that I still don't understand. Okay, even if I rewatched the memories from the future many times. No, wait. In memories from the future, okay, if I follow this sentence, if you steal my freedom, I'm going to come and catch you and steal yours. In memories from the future, oh my, now I got an idea. In memories from the future, he when he was really young as an infant, he was stopped by Grisha, and actually Eren took Grisha's life. He was stopped by Hannes, and as a continuation of events, Hannes' life was gotten. I mean, okay, he was killed by Dinah, but anyway, it's like as if he was even stopped by Mikasa many times. Please, Eren, don't do that. Come on, let's go ahead. But then Eren gave her, I mean, a bomb the head palm like that, so she stopped. I wanted to see 1 second who stopped. Carla didn't stop Eren or what at that time? But actually, yes, Carla in her own way was saying um, if your ears are turning red, it means you're lying. And actually, Carla died. Oh my! Every time someone is trying to stop Eren from doing one thing, wait, I'm thinking throughout the seasons, okay? Oh my. I'm just trying to remember some scenes in which Eren was stopped. To see, I mean, to understand if those characters who stopped Eren died, because that would make sense, you know. Okay, I'm still thinking in the moment, but okay. Anyway, let me go ahead for a second because I have this idea. I mean, every time he's saying who the person who's going to obtain, no, in order to obtain a freedom, I will take a freedom from the world. Uh, I will take a freedom from the world, but I will not take anything from any of you. Any of you, the friends, or any of you, the island? Because if Eren is doing what he's doing just for his friends, but in this case, it would be more coherent, sincerely, than doing it for the island. Because in the island, there were people who were trying to stop Eren from the beginning. So it doesn't make sense. You all have freedom, or in this case, no, the translation is wrong because the sentence is. Wait, go up. Wait. No, it means you are all free. That is important, what he says. He will never steal freedom from them, of course, because he cares. And you see that they keep running, okay? They keep running and then they reach exactly where they were before. That means he wants to create a distance. They can't get next to him. Because while they were running, I thought that they were approaching Eren, but then you see that he let them go back to where they were. That means next to Reiner and Pick. So Eren, by saying something like this, he feels really, really pain. But that's why I'm saying that he doesn't want them to approach him. Because if he is going to be approached, there is a sort of temptation that he might change. The more you stay distant, the better it is. Don't get closer to me. Otherwise, I can be affected by your words, by seeing your faces crying and whatever. So let's keep a distance. Or it's like as if it means that they can't catch him anymore because he wants to be free. So the more you try to catch him, the more he doesn't want that. I really like these symbolism to create a distance. Because I think that Eren doesn't want to have them all around there. It's too painful for him. It's too risky, like when he was meeting Armin and Mikasa and on I mean in front of that table, when Gabi was there too, it was too risky. That's why at a certain point he preferred to punch Armin, because he knew that what Armin was saying was true, but he couldn't say, look, you're right. But anyway, no, he preferred to punch him and create a distance, a physical distance. You are free to protect the world's freedom. That means, oh, translated, kill me. Kill me because I am a titan too. I mean, now that he became the Shubino Kyojin, he is at the source of everything. So if you kill the source, you kill even the titans. But at this point, that's why I'm saying, if we kill the source, will we be able to kill even the other titan owners? Or by being free, maybe he, by being the Shubino Kyojin, will impose the fact that he will be killed. But even if Reiner, Armin, Pick, Annie, Falco, they are all Titan owners, they can survive. Maybe he can let them survive even after his death. Otherwise, I can't understand how. Because usually, if you kill the source, you kill even the rest coming out from the source. So there should be something that has to be explained later, definitely, about these. Okay. I mean, and I'm free to move forward. Actually, here's true. You can't impose on me what you want to do, because I am free to do what I want. If it's good for all the people, it's also good for Eren. He is also saying, I'm letting you be free, in fact. So let me also be free to do what I want. I mean, I am the first one who's doing this, so you have to do this in return to me. But this is true. I don't call them convictions, I call them expectations instead. I mean, when he's saying, as long as we each hold unbending convictions, a clash is inevitable. Ma if you create lots of expectations in your life, then when these expectations are not coming in front of your eyes, you feel delusional. You feel as if you are really disappointed because you have always believed that these things would have happened. So when you realize that that you were struggling for nothing, you think that you waste your life based on illusions, based on things that would have never happened, or that couldn't happen. So I agree with what he's saying, but I don't agree when he's saying a clash is inevitable because, yes, you can be disappointed, but you can restart believing into something else without being forced by these expectations you feel to go on living. I mean, once you have learned the lesson, you can restart by not doing the same things you did before. I mean, he opened a book and he imagined throughout his life that this book was the truth, was just showing him continents, was just showing him the fact that they are the only humans on the island, and there was nothing else. And of course, when you discover that you are a tool for others, that you are a joke for others, for the rest of the world, you are not saying, oh, that's fine. Yes, you are angry, you're disappointed, but are you sure that you're going to reach the point in which you create a genocide because of this? Because of a book that was telling you that there were continents? Actually, the continents exist. I mean, what Eren feels disappointed the most is that in that book, it was not written, there's a humanity outside the walls. Because I think that if the book wrote something, I mean, if in the book it was written something like this, he couldn't be disappointed as he is right now. Because the continents are there. The ocean, as much as Armin said, and as much as that book said, existed. The desert too. We saw it in Fortress Slava, whatever. That a sort of desert existed. So what he saw in the books was right, but he couldn't see humanity, or he couldn't see that that book was telling him that there was humanity outside the walls. So that was the only disappointment, let's say, that after that it was creating lots of other problems. But when you open a geography book, I don't think that the book of geography is telling you, look, there are lots of inhabitants in this city. Yes, it might happen, but when you open a geographical book, you see, or an encyclopedia, whatever, about nature, you see the continents, you see ice, you see the desert, you see the aurora, you see some phenomenon, some, yes, the explanation of earthquakes, etc. I mean, you don't expect that the book is telling you over there is a humanity, right? So I think Eren was tricked by his expectations to not find other human beings. But when he found other human beings, he didn't do like Mikasa, who was thinking, okay, there will be good people and bad people. But these people were not there many years ago when they attacked me. The babies who were born in these 9 years, okay, were not the culprits like the adults maybe that were living when the first attack happened, you know. So the Kaya's speech is still valid, even in the case of Eren. When Kaya was saying my mother was not there 2,000 years ago, yes, even the babies who are born now, they were not at that time when the walls were broken. So why do you have to feel that they are guilty too? And in fact, Eren is making a mistake. No matter his purposes and no matter his dreams, because now he has another dream. Did you realize that? I mean, after one dream and he saw that that dream was disappointing him, he created another dream. That means to save Mika's Armin and all the others. So, in order to fulfill this dream, it's better if he is erasing even himself by doing so. But at the same time, we should not live based on expectations. Not because we can become like Eren, okay, but because we, by living one life, we have all the opportunities we want to have. So why creating expectations? We should accept the events that are reaching us, because by accepting these events that are reaching us, they will all be different. And at the same time, we can live without all that stress to fulfill the expectation that we put in our minds. We can live life in a different way by not expecting anything, by living, going ahead with the small and simple things. You don't create in your mind something that might disappoint you later. And these can regard all types of subjects, not just what Erin is feeling right now, but even, yes, the Eren's dream is not something particularly big. I mean, his dream is to reach the ocean, if you think about it. But in his case, it's something really big because he couldn't go out from those walls because otherwise there were the Titans. So even at the proportion of the dream, because I've read some comments that they were saying, "Come on, Eren, you destroy the world just because of a book." But if you were confined throughout all of your life inside some walls, and you believed that after erasing those titans, you could have reached the freedom by reaching the ocean, it's not a simple dream. It's something really important. But I think that Eren missed the point when he was not guessing. Ah, we exterminate these titans that are in paradise. We will reach the ocean. Okay, is that it? I mean, he didn't guess. He didn't doubt. And that's why he made a mistake. If he doubted a little bit more by asking himself, okay, if I reach the ocean, uh, if I meet someone, see, it's already a doubt, it's already an imagination of something that can elude a little bit the expectation itself to reach the ocean. So that's why I think that Eren was totally disappointed, because he could see just this. He couldn't see here. He could only see here. And that's why, of course, he would have been disappointed. But when now, yes, because now Ymir is appearing next to him right now. So I wanted to open a big parenthesis. Um, when he is saying, as long as we each hold unbending convictions, a clash is inevitable. And that's why I wanted to talk about the things that Eren, in my opinion, has in common with Ymir. Even in this case, wait a second, because sometimes I remember things. Okay, Ymir, when she's in the other dimension, before opening the parentheses, I tell you this, otherwise I forget. Ymir, when she's in the other dimension, I call it the other dimension, you understand where there is the tree, okay? And all the coordinates. She is a little girl. Now Eren is a little boy. He wants to free Ymir from the slavery, from blah, 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 blah. If you give me your power, does that mean that Ymir will go? I mean, she will be free. But when the Shubi no Kyojin will be killed, Eren will stay in the other dimension as a little boy. And this, why do I say this? Is because I don't know the destiny of the other Titans owners. Because they are both young. Okay, it was just an idea, but try to understand what I mean. If Ymir will be free, okay, even Eren will be free actually. So in the other dimension, no one is going to stay anymore. So that other dimension is going to be erased too, right? It could make sense. So the other dimension will stop existing. So it means that the Titans are going to be erased too. And it means that the Titan owners will be free also from the Titans, from the way in which they are Titans. He is the Shubi no Kyojin, so he can control these things, so he will probably erase from them the way in which they are Titans too. I'm thinking. Hmm, hmm. Okay, let me go ahead with the parentheses for a second. Okay, there are the young Ymir and the young Eren. I noticed throughout the time that they have many things in common. First of all, they were both young when something really negative happened. Eren was attacked, and even Ymir's village was attacked by Eldians, by the Eldian Empire, by the tribes. Do you remember? Second of all, when they are both young, still, like the same age as Eren boy, they encounter the Titan power because Ymir is going to get in touch with the creature inside that underground, the tree, the tree under the under the tree, yes, under the tree. Oh, mama! No, now I was imagining if the lyrics of the song can be seen also from the perspective of the creature, that bacteria. I'll be waiting, waiting for you. Let me hold you under the tree. But it makes sense, actually. It makes sense. But okay, let me go ahead. Anyway, Ymir becomes a titan when she's really young. Eren becomes a titan when he's really young. Another thing they have in common is the dream that is not coming true. If you remember, Eren has this dream of the book that makes him feel disappointed now. Ymir had the dream to reach love. Do you remember? When she saw the king and the other woman kissing, she was thinking that that was love, right? And then when she married, she married no, but she stayed with the king. She thought that she could have been loved, but she was just used. So it's a failure. It's another disappointment, as much as Eren felt the disappointment of the book. And she also had the disappointment by feeling that her kids were killing her. I mean, they were eating her. Another thing that they have in common is the tear that is falling down. In the case of Ymir, while she's running away, she's crying. When she is almost attacked by the tribe. In the case of Eren, he is crying in episode 1. Why are you crying? Let me see, do they have other things in common? Maybe the age when they were young and when that happened. Maybe they were having the same age, more or less. Maybe they can have in common even the fact that they were both accused for something that they have never done. Because do you remember when Ymir was accused for the pigs? And Eren was accused when they couldn't even understand who he was. Are you a Titan? Are you a human? You have to decide. Both Ymir and Eren lost their relatives, I guess, because Ymir survived, became a slave, but she survived. And Eren lost her mom and lost even his dad. Sorry, lost his mom and lost his dad. They can have in common the fact that they both become slaves of the alien empire somehow, because Ymir was working for King Fritz, and at the same time, Eren becomes a slave of the soldiers who wanted to use him in order to close the breach, to close the walls, thanks to his power. Or, yes, they have in common the fact that they are used for battles, because Ymir is used in battles against Marley. In the case of Eren, he is used against Marley. I mean, they have the same thing in common. Anything else? Both they had a sort of connection to the tree. Ymir in that way, Eren by having that dream while he was sitting under the tree. Anything else they have in common? I'm thinking. The village of Ymir was confined by this sort of fence. Do you remember? Three fences. One, two, three. In the case of Eren, he's living inside some walls, three walls, but he is confined too. Of course, they have in common the faces that they are making once they are angry or they want revenge. He is the perfect descendant of Ymir, let's say. He's like as if Eren is the perfect reincarnation of her, who couldn't do what she could do. So now she is using Eren because she doesn't have a physical body anymore, but she can grant him the power she has. And for all these reasons, ah, wait, wait. They also have in common the fact that they were receiving lots of compliments, but then they were used by the same people. In the case of Ymir, she said, no, she said, because she was not talking. The king said, you worked very well, Ymir. And even, I think it was Pixies who was saying to Eren, good job, Eren, you worked well, or something, when he was used to close the wall. Or they both were treated as if they were hope for something, but then it was a catastrophe instead. I mean, they have lots of things in common. Yeah. But most of it The most important connection that they have, these two, is the fact that Eren had that dream and Ymir had that other dream. And both of these two dreams were a huge disappointment. One about what's outside the walls, the other one, the concept of love. Yeah, because Ymir was struggling to find love. Now that I think about it. Yes. And at that time, it was a sort of destruction and regeneration because her life was destroyed, but she hoped to reach that love with the king. And that love with the king was a huge disappointment once she recognized that she was just used by him, that he didn't have care about her, because the most important thing for him was to create a descendants. And in this case, both Eren and Ymir created expectations, convictions that were fading away little by little. Yeah. And in this case, in this scene, you see that they both, the young Eren, the young Ymir, they don't show their eyes. They are blurred, or at least they are really dark. Their faces are really, really dark, as if they are confined into darkness, and they have to be released from there. Only one time Ymir showed her face, I mean her real eyes open and angry eyes. And even Eren showed these eyes to us in this same episode, long episode. One more time, guys. Even the concept of Akuma no Ko. Actually, Eren is Akuma no Ko. But Eren comes, is a descendant of Ymir and the King Fritz, because the descendants starts from there. So all the people who were born after the union of Ymir and King Fritz are called Eldians, of course, or Yomiru no Tami. But when they say Akuma no Ko, sometimes I have this view that they are referring even to the real Akuma is the one who is working for the king. I mean, giving the king the power, and then have kids from him. Or the real demon is the one who now is giving the power to Eren to do all this mess. Because we need to remember that if Ymir said no, Eren would have not done anything. So Ymir agreed. But do you remember the painting? I mean, the painting, the ending number 2. Now, the first thing you see is this monster, let's say, this Akuma, this devil, and this girl who seems really pretty, who has an apple on her hands, and it's like as if she is offering the apple. So at this point, who is the enemy? I mean, who's the demon here? The monster that you see the appearance as a monster. And as a first glimpse, you say, oh, that's the demon, of course, because we have always created in our mind the aesthetics of a demon. I mean, the appearance of a demon. So once we see that, oh, of course, that's the demon. Are we misjudging here? Because even that beautiful girl with that apple on her hand can be the demon, can be the Akuma. Usually, the devil, one of the devil's representations is a woman, not a monster. And by having the apple in her hand, we know that apple is the perfect way for the devil to temptate others. Because if we talk about it religiously speaking, the apple is recognized as the perfect way as a temptation that the devil is trying to temptate others by giving this apple. So that apple is a way, I mean, that apple was received or she is offering it. We need to understand that because that apple can represent even the huge power that Ymir gave to Eren for Eren to fulfill his goal. That means to reach freedom. But is he really going to reach freedom, or it's just another super heavy burden that he has to carry even after life? Nothing is granted. So that's why I'm saying. Let me see 1 second that painting once again. Devil. Wow, if you write it on Google, it's coming out. Wow, super amazing. See? See? Porca miseria. Porcaccia la miseria. Let's see if I can. See? Okay, let me. Can I share it? Okay, sorry, it's a picture from Google. But no, I can't. Wait. Why? Okay, here. No? Wait. Wait. Okay, maybe I can. Can I? No. Let me see if I can. Okay, I think you can. Now I put it in the chat box so you can open it. See? The girl is offering the apple. And the monster is there doing like this to say, oh, now I'm going to grab it. So, oh, did you see that behind there is like a steam? I mean, behind this girl and this Akuma, this devil, there's a steam. Is that the steam of the rumbling? But anyway, the girl is offering the apple to this monster, not the contrary. Because she's like this, as if she wants to give it to him. And he's with this hand like this because he's about to grab it. Is that an apple? I think so. Yes, it's an apple. So who's the real demon here, guys? That's why I was saying that when Ymir is influencing Eren, finally I reached this moment, I didn't say that Ymir was starting from zero brainwashing Eren. No, by saying that Ymir influenced Eren, in my opinion, I meant that by having lots of things in common and by encouraging Eren to keep going ahead by giving him the power, she was influencing him. But the apple was given by the girl, and that apple is the power that Ymir gave to Eren, transforming Eren into a monster because now he is a monster. And when I was telling you that the appearance of the Shubi no Kyojin from the front, not from, I mean, from the front, from the profile of the Shubi no Kyojin, you can see how large he is, the size, and whatever. But if we check the frontal side, yes, I think it was in the reaction that I said this. It's like a puppet. It's like a puppet. I mean, like a, I don't know, you could see it. It's like as if he is working for her. Because now, instead of being a slave for others, she is conducting everything as a commander. It's also a way to release her from slavery when she can command instead of being under someone else. And he is the container. While inside of this container, you find her power. But it's the power who's guiding Eren. I mean, it's the power who's making Eren create all this mess, not to the contrary. So, what I'm saying is no, because now I'm thinking about I noticed that some people in these recent weeks, I noticed that some people were debating on the scene of Historia when she's giving this necklace, let's say, to Eren, in the scene in which Eren is kissing her hand. And then all the mess started. But I wanted to see even that picture because I have noticed that many people say, look, the necklace that Historia is putting on Eren has the same shape as the shape of the Shubi. So let me see if I can find the Historia. Eren, let's see. Because even Historia, blonde hair. She is the queen, so she has royal blood. Eh, eccola, here it is. Ah, I have to find that picture. Wait a second. Ah, come on, where is it? No way. Da, 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 da. Oh, come on. I need that picture now. Okay, wait. I'm trying to find that picture at any cost. Okay. But it's true. No, wait. Oh, come on. Why I can't find that picture? Okay, I think that I'm going to find it as an episode at this point. That is the last episode of season 3, part 2, if I'm not wrong. Okay, let me search it in Amazon Prime. I don't. 1 second. Sorry for the inconvenience. um, Attack on Titan. Titan. Okay, season 3, part 2. Where are you? Okay, so the last episode. Let's go to the last episode for a second. And no, look, because I've heard this thing. I want to do it by myself or not. No, okay. Okay, okay, I reached it. Oh my. Wait, wait. Ecco, 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 ecco. Vediamo. Takeaway. Mamma mia, it's true. Let me go back 1 second. It's true. It's the same. Madò. That was a huge spoiler. It's true that the neck, I mean the necklace, yeah, that sort of award that they receive from Historia has the same shape as how he is right now. But see, even in this case, yo, she is a royal blood. And she is, it's like as if, oh, one day you will become like this. Or like as if they wanted to let you understand how he will become, but it was impossible to understand this. Even if in this case, no, but it's not the necklace. Mamma mia, no, it's the necklace, okay. But then her dress combined to the necklace makes that shape. No, come on, this was a spoiler in this case. I mean, is there in the manga the same scene? I mean, in the manga, can we find the same fragment of these? Now, if yes, Isayama made it on purpose. How is it in the manga? Can you see the same fragment that Wit made, or Wit decided to put it like this? Unbelievable. I'm shocked. But in this case, her dress, she's a royal blood, she's descending from Ymir directly, blah, 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 blah. And the necklace that was given to him, see, wow. Yeah, that was the first time that I saw, that I noticed, I mean, that thing, because I read some comments about it. So today I decided, okay, let me talk about these. But this confirms what I say, okay? Even at this position, okay, Eren is down and she is on top of him, and she's the royal blood, and she's giving one thing to him, etc. She's giving him a medallion or something to praise what he did. Look, I still don't believe, okay, that Ymir is that innocent at this point. No, because the apple is given by the tempter to the person who's tempted, not vice versa. I mean, the apple is the perfect representation of a temptation. Come on, we can see it in legends, mythology, religion, what the f you want. And Frida, who was saying, "Oh, you like Emir, right? You should consider to become like her in the future." No, but actually now she's pregnant like her. Yes, and she's pregnant because so she can't be eaten. Blah 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 blah. I mean, she can't start that thing that Zeke wanted, but. No, fortunately, she didn't become like her somehow. I don't know. I'm debating myself now. Let's go ahead with the episode in the meantime. See why I told you that Mikasa has to stay in front and not next to him? Because the one next to him experienced most of the time, most of the things he also experienced. And maybe by following what I told you so far, she gave the apple to Eren because she doesn't want that Mikasa is staying next to him. No. See, there is but one thing for us to do: fight. Ma see, for us to do. So that's why I'm saying that the Ymir is influencing Eren somehow in his beliefs. Yes, he used the plural. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to Tatakane. I'm going to." Now, for us, Oretachi, it's not an option. And in fact, their eyes are sayonara. I mean, they are gone. So Eren is now like him. Is now like her. The young Eren has the same face as Ymir without his eyes. That means he can't think properly. Because when Eren was hugging her, and he was telling her, "Please give me your power," and she was see, now that's what I'm saying. She always wanted love. So the time she was hugged by Eren, she released what she was, because she also felt hugged. She never was hugged by anybody. Even from the king, she was never hugged, who was supposed to be her lover. It's like as if that hug wake her up for a second. So is she a victim of love, or the concept of love that she imagined? Because even Eren is a slave of that dream. So even Ymir was a slave of that dream too. That's why she failed. I mean, that's why her existence was falling apart. Maybe when she felt hugged, she sensed. I mean, she felt a warmth. She felt even a sort of a condition that she has never felt, and that's why she gave him the power. Also because of what he said, but even the hug. is important, in my opinion. Why did you call us here? To let you hear my statements. I mean, to understand what's my idea and the fact that I have to go ahead. You have to kill me. You are, no, you have to. You are free to do what you want. That means I'm serving you all the proofs that you need in order to reach the final decision that is to kill me. To discuss the fact that there is no need to have a discussion. But in my opinion, he wants a discussion somehow. Maybe he wanted to remark this. There's no need of a discussion. Because he hopes that Armin does the contrary. And actually, at the end of the episode, he wants to talk to him again. No, come on, but I don't believe him even in this case. Because when he was facing that freedom moment, Giuda, the first name that he was asking for was Armin. No, no, it's another time in which he is calling for help, indirectly or silently. No, come on. Come on, it's pointless that you invite me. Allora, I mean, when you know already my point of view, what's the point to invite you one more time to express the same thing? It's pointless. If I know that Eren now is the Shubi no Kyojin, and he keeps wanting to Tatakai, and he wants to destroy everything, etc., and we have the proof to confirm it, why Eren, have to invite them one more time to see there is no need to discussion? And they knew it already, let's say. Even if they hoped for that, but they knew it. See? No, I think that he wants to do all these things, and it's a request of help. Instead of saying, I mean, instead of pushing them away, the more he is bringing them to this dimension, especially Armin, it's already the second time. It's like it's like his mom, you know. It's like his mom when she was sending him away. Okay, but then his mom, without being listened, she said, "No, stay here." Do you remember? In episode 1, go listen to me, Eren. Why don't you listen to your parents? Why you don't do what your mom is saying? Go. No, don't go. That's Eren now. That is Eren now. There's no need of a discussion. Armin, please, let's have a discussion. Armin, please, I have something to tell you. And now he has Ymir next to him, so of course he's going to say something like this. Come on. Next to Ymir, he will never be able to say, oh, okay, let's talk. After he was asking her power, let's discuss. Mm. Maybe after receiving this power, he realized that actually maybe it was not a good idea to ask her the power. Oh, it could be. It could be. Because she granted him the power, but Eren didn't imagine the quantity of the power. So he didn't maybe imagine how. So he didn't imagine how he would have been because he has never seen it. He believes that he has seen everything, but he didn't see everything. So that's why I'm saying maybe he received the power of Ymir. It was something even worse than what he was expecting. Now he wants to talk to Armin. So he is inviting Armin to understand where he is. No, I don't want to talk. Okay, let's talk, Armin. Let's talk. Come on. Try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. No, no, there's no need to talk. Go away. You're free. You're free. You're free. Come on. That's why Armin is insisting. I think because yes, he was saying, I wanted the confirmation one more time or something like that. We will see it tomorrow, but it makes sense. Now he is like Carla, okay? And this time he really hopes that someone is going to come and listen to him because at that time he made a mistake. Carla, when he was dying, he couldn't hear. No, please stay. So he went on because if he heard his mother say, "Come back," he would have come back. Listen to me. Cos'è? One second, perché I was focusing with what I was saying right now. If you wish to stop me, make me draw my last breath. What is the last breath? To come to see the one who has to kill him. Let's go ahead. You are free. Eat me, but and see, even when he says there is no need to discussion, but you are free to keep insisting. Keep insist, Armin. Keep go ahead and insist until you meet him. And I think that they will meet in this dimension at this point. And probably Ymir will not join them this time. No, look. If Armin has to say goodbye to Eren, I hope he is meeting the adult Eren. Because if he meets the young Eren, he's going to reply as what he's saying now because it's based on what happened when he was young. When he was young, he was impulsive. He didn't want to listen. He was always going ahead with his own purposes only. Of course, he will never listen. But now Armin has to meet the adult Eren, who experienced lots of things and who's listening more than before. Even if then he's doing what he wants to do, but he's listening more sincerely. And do you remember what he was saying when they were around the table? He was saying, there's no need to use violence or something like that. We can talk peacefully. So, Armin, keep insisting, please, because we needed to see the adult Eren, what he has to say. Here we have in front the young Eren. At that time, when he was attacked by the Titans, he didn't want to listen to anybody. I am going to exterminate all of you, Titans. So nobody could say anything against it. I mean, Eren's purpose was that. And in fact, now they are confronting the young Eren, not the adult one. Armin, this is a sign, okay? Keep insisting, okay? You're doing right. Oh, they are back. Yes, you are right, Rainer. At the same time, they are realizing that there's no turning back. I mean, they would have realized it even before, sincerely, but now it's even more evident. It's even more evident. But Reiner is right, absolutely, because of course we are facing something really terrible. The fact that they have the confirmation they have to kill him. But let me tell you honestly, I respected the way in which Reiner and Pick didn't say anything because it was not their moment. They respected that moment for all these other people who take care of, I mean, who love Eren. I admired this. No, you're wrong, Levi. When now Levi is saying, wait, wait, looks like we are not going to solve these by talking. No, Levi, we have to insist here. No, I don't believe so. Mom. And Levi is asking Armin, what do we do now, Commander? The worst moment ever to ask what to do now. Because now Armin has to realize that he's no more a soldier, he's a commander. See how angry is Armin? He's like this, and then he is angry because he can't reach what he wants. But he will do that. I am 100% sure. Lady Mikasa. Mm. Oh, this is a great contrast. Hizuru, that is Japan, because it's the land of the rising sun, that is going to fade away, that is going to go on on a sunset. Very beautiful. When she says now the fish dishes in Hizuru, they are really great. Yes, I confirm that. Ugh, birds, no, please. Okay, I like Kiyomi because she's admitting the fact that Eren got in touch with Zeke because of her. At least this is true, but at the end of the day, I think that it was better like this because Zeke would have done anything to reach him. So it's not a huge fault that she has. Zeke would have never stopped reaching Eren, trying to reach Eren anyway. Kiyomi, we all have scenes here. We are human beings. You can have this scene, and many others. They can have others. So you are in a very well company here. Hmm, I don't think so. Okay, I answer 1 second Annie's question. I think because Annie is asking Kiyomi if Kiyomi would have redone the same things if a time could go back. I think that she would have said yes. I would have redone it everything because she was trying to search for Mikasa. I mean, she was trying to see if there were some descendants from the Hizuru clan in Paradise, or anyway, some people affiliated to that country. So anyway, I think that she would have done the same, definitely. But what she's saying now is, I mean, what Kiyomi is answering here is even more important. Time will not go back. Exactly. That means we have to take responsibility of our actions without thinking if we could go back in time, what was the right thing to do. If something went wrong, it was because of our decisions. And at that time, we chose to take this decision. So we can't go back in time, and we have to stand and face our responsibility. That's absolutely true. Uh, but she will always feel regretful. Yeah, that's the price you have to pay for the sins you make, to feel regret later. No, in fact, because she was, now Kiyomi is saying that she didn't do so much to help aliens to survive. Yeah, because we need to remember that Kiyomi had two interests in particular: Mikasa as a descendant. Okay, especially once she no, especially once she discovered that she was a descendant, and second of all, the other interest of Kiyomi was to let Hizuru prosper. So, of course, she was not taking care of aliens or caring about aliens as much as she could have done, because her interests were more important than Paradise. She was helping Paradise because she knew that, thanks to what Zeke told her, that she would have received an amount of quantity of that mineral that was found in Paradise only, that could have granted her the way to recreate these Hizuru's prosperity. So as soon as she heard something like this, she said, "Okay, let's go and help them." But it could have been Paradise or even Marley. If Marley would have had the same um, material, she would have rescued Marley, maybe, instead of a Paradise. Do you understand what I mean? It's up to the interest that she had at that moment. Then, when she discovered that Mikasa was a descendant, oh, even better, because if that material we can't grant it or we can't gain it quite a lot, there is still Mikasa, Lady Mikasa. So if we bring Lady Mikasa back to Hizuru, oh, Hizuru is going to come back as before. I treated my clan's interests and my family's honor as my greatest duties. That is what I told you now. Oh, look, this is so beautiful. The view to the sea, to the ocean now, it's really amazing. Do you remember when they reached the ocean, the others were so happy? See the difference in the mood of, cioè, I mean, the ocean, that is not just a goal, but it's even the perfect setting to check in order to understand more about ourselves, in order to talk, to confront, and to understand what we have done. So the ocean is not just a goal, it's not just a way to reach something that we have never seen before, or it's not something that we see when we are happy. It's also something that we might have in front of us when we have to confront ourselves. Because the ocean is giving you the most peaceful moments, the most peaceful mood for you to do so. It's really beautiful, this scenario of the stillness of the ocean. While a few minutes ago it was the rumbling was rumble, but here the ocean is so still, because there is also a sort of a peace of mind to recognize the mistakes made. And in fact, the color of this ocean is not like the color of the ocean we saw at the end of season 3, part 2. This color is more, is colder, is darker, as if the color of the ocean is perfectly balanced with the mood that is created now thanks to this dialogue between Annie and the Kiyomi. In season three, part two, the ocean was marvelous. I mean, the colors were like heaven on earth because it was a new discovery, because it was representing the emotion that they were feeling when they were getting in touch with something that they have never seen before. And when you are waiting for that moment for such a long time, everything is so beautiful. So, as you can see, I like when they connect the setting with the mood of the characters. Uh, why we have to experience the loss before we can realize? That's a great question. It's called the free will, the answer. I mean, when you decide something, you don't know how it will go. You don't know. I mean, you think that you know, but you will never know until you experience it. So, why you can't realize the things before doing it? It's called the free will. That's the magic word that we use about the power we have to choose something without knowing how it will end, without knowing how it will go. If it will go right, it will go wrong, we don't know. But anyway, we have to face it because that's what we decided to do. And even if we expect all the risks in advance, there will always be one risk that we didn't count because we can't predict the future. We are mortal, we are human, and we can't have also that power. Already having the power to choose is a great power, but we can't have everything. So, hmm, exactly, it's connecting. Sorry, I read it one more time so I can let you understand what I mean. So, why do we have to experience loss before we can realize how to respect and value others without putting ourselves first? Double answer. Dear Kiyomi, that's how human beings are. They are selfish. We are selfish. There will never be the chance that we put others before ourselves. Even if we say it, it's not true. I don't believe it. No. In all the cases, in all the worst scenarios that we can plan in our mind, we will always save ourselves first. That's our instinct. We can't save others before us. Or if we do that, it's because we know that after we tried to save ourselves, anyway, we shikatanai, like they say in Japanese, we can't do more than this. And in that case, you prefer to save others than you. But instinctively speaking, the first thing you do is to save you, to save yourself, to try at least to save yourself. So that's how humanity is. And I really appreciate the evolution of this character too. Kiyomi is making a jump as an evolution because she started being selfish and then she realized that by being selfish, usually we use others for ourselves, for our purposes. We sometimes step on others if this means that we can be saved. Yes, all the things that I'm saying are making a portrait of humanity that is quite horrific or horrifying, yes, but it's also representing the truth. Sometimes we are bad, and we can't just say, "Ah, human beings are so wonderful because they are human, because they are sensitive." Now we have to face the truth of the fact that we can also become really mean if it means that we have to save ourselves. In order to save ourselves, we are ready to step on others too, or we are ready to do the worst things. Think about another scenario, for example. Two people are going to be shot, and one is the killer. Do you really believe that one of the two is going to protect the other by trying to kill himself? I don't think so. No. Or if it's a happening, it's just a great exception. So that's why I think that what Kiyomi is saying right now, it's really humble because she is realizing that she made a huge mistake at that time. And she is also crying because of it. But of course, she's realizing it later because that's how we are. We choose for our interests, we choose for our benefits, we choose to make our life better than others. We always try to climb, okay, to be always better, to think that we can be perfect. We try our best to learn quite a lot to be so good when we go to school so we can have great marks so we can be even better, etc., etc., because what we want to reach is the better definition of what we are. So even by doing this you understand how selfish we can be. So I agree with what Kiyomi is saying now because she is exposing the fragility to be a human being. And she's so honest by saying it. And even Annie is listening to her, especially Annie, who wanted to put herself always first. Even when she had to say goodbye to Armin, she put herself first. Or even when she wanted to come back when all the others didn't want it, it's because she always put herself first. Her father was waiting for her. Let's go. So, as you can see, that's a great dialogue, this one, because we are together with the two women who did the same things, and both they realized that it's true. Even now, Annie is putting herself first because she didn't want to join to help the others. She said, I am tired. I prefer my mental health than what you wanted to do. I prefer to be still, calm, and enjoy my life now than helping you. Even helping her lover, for example. No, myself first. So that's a great dialogue. And even Kiyomi is realizing, look, even when she was trying to force Mikasa to join her or to stay next to her and all the others from Hizuru, Mikasa said, listen, I mean, I'm from Paradise, okay, that I am a descendant, but I was born here, so there's no way. But even in that time, Kiyomi was putting her interests first. When she saved Udo, okay, she didn't save Udo because it was, oh, poor boy, let's save him. No. She saved Udo in that moment just because there was a boy over there risking his life because she knew what was going to happen to him. But it could have been Udo, it could have been another boy, another girl, who cares? It was just the moment. And that one was not because of her kindness, it was for us to understand that Kiyomi was a little bit suspicious. That's it. But now it's too late. Exactly. You can stay there and talk about it hours and hours and hours like I'm doing. It's too late. You can't go back in time. Now you just take responsibility of what you have done. That's it. Oh, Here we have to open a bracket. Let's go ahead 1 second. No, no. Okay, but I have to say one thing. Falco is having a dream based on the memories of Zeke because he inhalated the fluid spine of Zeke. All the people who were smelling the same, I mean, who were drinking or who were getting in contact with the spine fluid, did they have the same experience? Or are there some others who drank that spinal fluid and they are having maybe the same thing that Falco is experiencing now? That means to have a dream about Zeke's memories, and then what kind of Zeke's memories is he talking about? Yeah. Wait a second. Yes, because I remember this part. It seems he is manifesting characteristics of the beast titan because of that. So not only he is dreaming about Zeke's memories, okay, but he is also starting having some characteristics of the beast titan. That means that he can also launch stones. If he can, that would be really productive. Yeah. What kind of characteristics is he developing? Because the beast, the titan, doesn't have a particular characteristics, sincerely. Yeah, go on. Thank you. But so he's no wait, but now he is dreaming about the fact that he is flying on top of the clouds. But is it because, of course, Zeke is attached to the body of the Shubino Kyojin on top, but he can't reach above the clouds. Okay, let's see what he has to say in 1 second because no, that's all. So, and did you see above the clouds there is the sun? This could refer to a clearer vision of things. I mean, as I told you since the beginning of this long analysis, the clouds can make you feel blind a little bit. While if you have the sun shining, it's like an enlightenment. It's like the moment in which you are gaining lots of knowledge. And wait a second, does he know? Does Zeke probably know how to defeat the Shubino Kyojin? And that's why he is giving this power to understand how to do that to Falco, so Falco can fly, because we know that now the Joe Titan made by Falco is a bird. So he can fly on top of the clouds, he Falco, I'm saying. So maybe Zeke is giving him the hints about what to do, even if they are distant. Hmm. because even Zico wants that Eren is going to be killed. I mean, he also wants to kill Eren sincerely. He wants to stop Eren based on the promise, based on Grisha's request. So, is he going to give him a hint about where to go so he can defeat Eren? I'm thinking this. Yeah, because they have the same purpose in common, but at the same time, I think that Zeke will be killed by Levi. But it means that even Falco is joining the battle. Absolutely. He can't stay there. He can't. No. But Annie seems to understand something, because when Falco is saying that thing, Annie is. So she knows something. What do you know, Annie? Why you didn't join? Ah, okay. That's yeah, but what did you understand? I see, Aaron, there is a sort of desert here. I mean, Annie's father. But did you see that now even the aliens are regaining what they have lost? That means the dignity to respond in front of these Marlians, because before they couldn't, before they were afraid to do something wrong, because they were afraid that they could have been sent to paradise. So now Annie's father is like, shut your mouth, Marlian. I mean, it's something that didn't happen before. And once again, they are using Eren in this case to entitle themselves, because he's saying it's thanks to us that you haven't been squished under a titan's foot. If the airship idea doesn't work, your family will die in the rumbling. And it's like as if Eren has to work for him to let others dying because of what he's saying now. Or anyway, he is making him understand that now we are all equal. It doesn't matter if you are a Marlian or an alien, we can all go under the feet of the colossal titans of the rumbling. So you can't feel almighty as before, because now you are having the same destiny probably. Uh, oh, I hope for you, because Annie's still waiting to meet you. So, uh, I mean, these are the parents of Gabi, and they are saying our girl is on the Devil's Island. Listen, even after everything that is happening now, you still talk about these things. But think just about the fact that Gabi is in danger. That's it. It doesn't matter because where she is right now or because of other circumstances. Stop talking about this Devil's Island. Mamma mia. How could she survive there? Yes, ask your question. Ask yourself this question. How could she survive there? And maybe because there are not demons over there. Maybe. And no, but wait, dear, because he's saying now. Wait, okay. If only she would never tried to become a warrior. Listen, you were proud that she was becoming a warrior. You forced her to become a warrior. If only she, no, if only we, in this case, if only we asked her to become a warrior, in that case, I would have agreed. But now it's just Gabi's fault. I don't think so. We could have been together in the end. Wake up to reality. Now you realize that when it's too late, it's too late. And even for you, Karina, it's too late. Let me tell you. Eh, yes, dear. Yes, in this case, I agree that you keep that armband because if you throw it away, it's just as if nothing happened. No, no, keep it and remember what you have asked your daughter to do. Remember how you trained her, and in the case of Annie's father, and to all the others, they should keep the armband to understand how mean they were, especially Karina when she was abusing of her son's kindness. That is the most tremendous thing. In fact, Annie's dad is saying this armband is something my daughter earned by sacrificing everything to help me. At least you're honest to yourself to declare something like this. At least. See how the old generations are condemning the new ones? This is a clear example. And what's that fog? That fog is something coming to get you. And so in this case, I wanted to ask all these people that they are approaching the rumbling and they say, what is that fog? If I were Eren, now I would have asked them, how does it feel? Yes, because it's obvious that a question like this might come out. How does it feel to see that someone is coming to get you and you don't have any escape? That's how Eren felt at that time when he was attacked. And in this case, there were not the people coming from the other side to rescue him and all the others. No, they had to face the destruction by themselves. But here, things are different. Here, they will be saved by Paradise. So at least they had a chance to survive here because someone else from the outside was coming to save them. In Eren's case, at that time in episode one, there was nobody else from outside coming to save them. So they are even lucky. The proportions are different, but they are lucky anyway. Okay, I think that I will stop myself here because tomorrow at the same hour, more or less, I'm going to finish finally this long, long episode. Also, because more or less we are reaching the 3 hours today too. But anyway, yes, I think that even this part was pretty heavy because you could have seen, I mean, you could have you could have heard, sorry, some scenes that are quite essential. The Ymir and Eren's scene that is quite important. And then even now, the scene of Kiyomi and Annie, the scene of a Falco. Yes, a Falco. How is he going to approach? Yeah, just because if he becomes a Titan, he can approach. But even if he can approach, what kind of characteristics is he going to develop from the Beast Titan? That's something that I don't understand, really. Maybe to launch things. Because I remember that when they were describing the Beast Titan, wait a second. I have to go back and check the characteristics. What is episode 2, maybe, of the final season? Attack on Titan. I just check this last thing and then I go. Oh, wait. Attack on Titan, part 1, episode 2. I think so. No. Eh? No, wait. It should have been the second episode. No, no. Eh? No, wait. No, it's not episode 2. So what episode it is? Episode 3? Hmm. But no, wait a second. Where is that description of the Titans, yo? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, no, episode 3. Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, let's switch to the Beast Titan for a second. Okay, okay, okay. He's as potent as ever. Let's see why. I don't remember. Okay, he's larger than the other Titans, so maybe even a Falco can become bigger. I mean, these Joe Titan that can make a bigger size. Let's see. And mm, the throwing technique. But usually you acquire this ability when you eat the Titan. Okay, let's go ahead. His blood seems to have a hidden power, yes. Ah, but wait a second. Okay, Falco drank a little bit the spinal fluid. I have to research one thing right now. Oh my. Wait a second. Ah, no, no. Ah. No, because the spinal fluid is connected to the nerves. If there was a chance that it was connected to the blood, then things would have been different. Hmm. No. No, I had another idea in the case. No. Just a second. One more thing that I'm checking. Uh, and no, but the spinal fluid is feeded by blood. So So there is a connection between spinal fluid and blood. So if Falco drank the spinal fluid of Zik, inside that spinal fluid that he drank, there should be even a small percentage of or influence of blood. Do they say something else? But that's why. No, they don't say anything else, but that's why. Maybe by being a royal blood and by inherited even a titan, with the spinal fluid, the thing can be modified or it can be different. Because except for Dinah, who was the normal Titan, I mean, a not intelligent one, he is an intelligent Titan, but he is also having the royal blood. So maybe something is different. Hmm. And I also remember that Zeke acquired lots of knowledge at that time when he was staying next to Ymir in the other dimension. So is he trying to give to Falco some info that he needs to know in order to defeat Eren? Because maybe, but why Falco? Because the Falco drank the spinal fluid. Yes, that's the only reason. I mean, he didn't choose him. It's just because he drank a little bit of a spinal fluid. Okay. So we needed to understand if these characteristics that Falco gained is also related to the fact that he's a royal blood line. I mean, he's following the royal bloodline, or is it about the technique of throwing things? But he can't because he's a bird. How can he throw things? Maybe with the mouth, like like that, and he's launching the rocks. Or the fact that he's bigger than other titans. So if he's gaining these increasing of a proportion, probably these can cause harm to Eren because he is huge. Okay. Anyway, guys, let's see what's going to happen because we have to wait autumn for these. But in the meantime, thank you so much for the support, guys. Thank you for these live streaming. Thank you for following me, and see you tomorrow at the same time for the last part of these analyses dedicated to the special episode of Shingeki no Kyojin. In the meantime, feel free to subscribe and see you next week, even, of course, with one episode of my mother's reactions, and all the rest of the week with To Your Eternity Season 2 coming on the channel. So stay tuned and keep on watching. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Bye. See you. Bye.